What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at $35,130. We're up about 5%. And what I want to do is get into Glassnode as well. So after the technical analysis, we're going to get into Glassnode, and we're going to look what's going on behind the scenes here for Bitcoin. So if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's dig into this. So first of all, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin on the 1 day time frame right now. So each candle represents 1 day. And what you can see is the bulls are still trying to defend this $30,000 area. So after our big capitulation fall here, guys, you can see 3 wicks now that are relatively long. I mean, if we measure these right here, we're looking at the shortest wick being roughly about 7 or 8%. And typically, guys, when you get these wick clusters like you did back in this area, we get a nice move in the opposite direction of where the clusters are at. Sometimes they can be at the top, and that can show that a top's in for you if you kind of work your way down through here. But typically when we get longer wicks like this, and you can see over in here, I remember talking about this before, you can see these clusters that come in. Sometimes that can be a telltale sign that the whales are accumulating in this area and defending this area. Now, guys, it's been such an extreme crash right now, and there's still so much anxiety in the market. I think we still have a lot more proving to do as the bulls apart from these wicks, just due to the fact that we have so much overhead resistance now, because this could just be a range that we're chopping in from roughly about 40,000 down to that 30,000, just bouncing back and forth. So this could be the area that we defended down here, and what you don't want to see is for us to go up and it gets weaker in here, and then we come back down, test it again, then it bounces and gets weaker again. That would show most likely we're going to have a downside break. We want to start getting up through some of these overhead resistance areas, and we got a lot of them to deal with right now. If we're on the 1 day time frame and we take a look at our moving averages, you can see now we've been too comfortable trading below the 200 EMA, in my opinion, roughly here, guys. You can see we started a daily candle close below it May 19th, and we have not traded up above it since then. And this entire bull market, essentially here, that we've been in, so roughly since, let's see, about April 29th, 2020, we had been trading up above it. So for me, that is significant, guys. Until we start busting up through that again, you can see all this resistance that's on top of it as well. I think this is a very sticky spot for a lot of the market right now. You know, we still need to figure out direction. If you're just jumping into a trade right now and saying, okay, I'm for sure going to go long, you got a lot of overhead resistance to deal with, and you need to be aware of that right now. Okay, we don't have that clear direction. We want to start seeing that trend change back to the upside, higher highs and higher lows, and we're not having that right now. You know, guys, we don't want it to be like this here. So this could be our lower high. What if these were basically our lower highs and we have another plunge down? We have to be prepared for that. That if this was just some type of dead cat bounce here because of how hard we dropped and how fast we dropped, we could have another leg to the downside. You know, but if this is a spot where the whales, you know, because there is so much manipulation in this space, where the whales want to defend this 30,000 like they have on these wicks at least, you know, I would say if we can get through 42,000, right in that range, 41, 42,000, that could give us a clear shot up to about 47,000. You can see I have an alert and alarm up there, because even out of this, I was anticipating a bigger bounce out of this. I thought we'd get back up into this range fairly quickly, around that $50,000, and that didn't happen. So, you know, this spot, guys, it's a sticky spot, and we have to be prepared for anything to take place in this. You know, a lot of chopping here, and this is where I don't like to trade in that. I like to find those trends and be a trend trader, basically. That's what I like to do. I don't like trading the ranges. So for the technicals, we still have a 13 sell, a 10 neutral, and a 3 buy. Oscillators, 0 sell, 9 neutral, and a 2 buy. Moving averages, 13 sell, 1 neutral, and a 1 buy. And I wanted to actually get into some lower time frames here to see if we're changing the trend on the lower time frames that could potentially be a little bit more bullish for us. So if we get into the 12-hour, we'll take a look, watch the moving averages as well. Okay, guys, so you can see the longer wicks down here trying to defend this 30,000. Okay, we are still trading on the 12-hour below the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. Take a look at the 8-hour, still trading below the 20, 50, 100, 200. So we're looking for that change, right? Start breaking up through the moving averages. So right here, we finally got up through, and this on the 4-hour, we did have one candle close up above the 20, and that's how you start. And then you try to get up above the 50, the 100, and 200. So you can see, guys, still we have all this overhead resistance up here. So I said if you're just taking a trade in here, that's a tough area right now. I think some of the best times is just sit back and wait for that direction. Be patient. And many professional traders will tell you that as well. It's about sitting on your hands sometimes and being patient, whether it be a week, a month, whatever you have to do. Make that money in big chunks and then sit back again and you be patient again. So right here, I mean, you can see this is a nice wide span though, guys, between bottoms. That's what you want to see there, but we still have all this overhead pressure. Take a look. 200 on the 1 hour. We finally are trading up above the 100, so that's good. 20's trying to cross through the 50, and this is how it would start in the short term, right? So we had this big dump, heavy volume, had our first wave up, correction, up again, correction, up again. So we're higher highs, higher lows, at least on the 1 hour time frame now. So we need to come back down, set a higher low, higher high, and get up through this 200. But guys, yet again, take a look at the resistance. Okay, all these areas you're going to have to get up through 36,800, 38,000, 40,000, and then up to around that 41 or 42. So some people may be waiting to see if we do get a breakout out of there and then play that, or a breakout and then a back test and then play it. You know, but we got things that are going for us that are bullish. We got a lot of things that are bearish as well. You know, guys, if we get into glass node here, and I would love your opinion down low. Tell me, are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you believe we're in the bull market still? And this, it's a tough spot, guys, all around. And what you can see here, we're going to get into the Bitcoin. This is on glass node, the net unrealized profit and loss. Okay, so a couple things I want to point out here for people who haven't heard about this before. Whenever you see the blue up here, that's euphoria, and that's a great time to sell. The green is going to be the belief stage. And then below that, you're going to have the optimism, which is like that brownish color. You have an orange is going to be hope. And then this pink color is capitulation down here. So anything in pink is great buying opportunities. When you see the blue up top, it's great selling opportunities. Okay. Now what I want to do is zoom in and show you where we're at right now. So basically we are on the backside. So we made it into the green, the belief, and now we are in this brown area here, which on the backside is anxiety. And obviously many people are feeling very anxious about where we're at right now. Okay, so we need to get back up into that belief area. You can see sometimes you can actually drop down and then you can bounce back up into that area, and then we'd want to hold that again. But I almost look at it like support and resistance in a way. Okay, if we're not able to hold that, though, the next area on the way down would be orange, and that would be the fear area. So on any backside here, do you see when we broke down from that 6,000, had that big break, we were in that fear and we went to capitulation. So I like to look at this. If I see capitulation, I want to look at the chart, obviously. Those are great buying opportunities. If we see up into the green category and that blue tip, it's time to get out. And this is just one thing that I like to use. And let me know if you like looking at this as well. And then if we get to the home, here just to show you a few things. New addresses, the change, the 24-hour change is -6. Active addresses -2. Addresses with 1,000K balance, we have 2,175. That's about flat. Exchange inflow volume, we're down 3.62%. Exchange deposits down 6. Exchange outflow volume is 13.68. Exchange withdrawals 2.85, and exchange balance 0.28 is something that I like to look at, as well as the number of whales right now down about 0.36%. So nothing too crazy there. And I get into these top and bottom indicators, which can always help. But, you know, guys, it's one of those things, we have a lot of work to do. I'm not saying it can't be done. You know, we have bullish things going for us too. We have been holding this area with wide gaps, trying to hold it again, but it's going to take that buying pressure, and it's going to take conviction, and it's going to take breaking these support or these resistance areas, as well as moving averages along the way, and then turning them into support. There's just a lot to be done right now. Okay, so really watch that 31,000, because if we break down through that, that's when we could have one of those big crashes to the downside. Not saying it has to happen, but you need to be prepared and have a plan. And my plan, what I've been doing during this time, has basically just been trading the market, getting in, making a profit, and getting out. Because right now, this is a very tough spot to just be long-term holding right now, in my opinion, because of how the trend is. Right now, we're in an intermediate term downtrend. Okay, guys, and you wanted to protect yourself in terms of you don't need another 20 or 30% to the downside. So that's where you always have to have a plan in this space. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.